Welcome to the Heartful Healing Hub podcast. I am Deanne, your host, frequency intuitive and energetic healing guide, here to hold space for transformation through sound, energy, and sacred storytelling. You're listening to Healed and Whole Stories of Remembering, a special series where I sit with women who've walked through deep health challenges and emerged transformed. These are conversations that are sacred, heart to heart, soul to soul, filled with truth, resilience, and the power of coming home to yourself. May these conversations inspire your own inner healer to awaken. Let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. Today, I have the pleasure to be sitting here with Anna, so it's awesome to be here. I am going to begin with reading her little bio so I can introduce her to you. And I am not as prepared as I thought I was. Where are you? Right here. There we go. All right. Anna is a transformational coach and founder of the Me First Moms movement, who helps overwhelmed moms stop surviving and start thriving. She's a mom of two herself, a craft maniac, and a dance lover. We have that in common. I love dancing. Who has been on both sides of this equation. With an MA in psychology, 600 plus hours in attachment-based developmental theory, and 8+ years walking alongside parents, Anna has blends intellect with intuition, weaving together modalities from neuroscience and art therapy to mindfulness and somatic healing, guiding moms back to themselves. Welcome, madam. How are you?
Hello. First of all, thank you for having me here. And I'm totally inspired and good to be here.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for taking the time. So if you want to dive into what you do or your story or how you got here, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So what I do is basically an extension of my why, of why I'm here and who I am, because all my work is formed by my own experience and by experience of working with many parents. So as you mentioned in my bio, I was on both sides of this equation. So meaning my mom was an overwhelmed mom. She was raising me and my sister by herself, and of course she was thinking about how to provide and not how to manage the emotion, to teach emotion regulation and all those stuff. And I quite sensitive, so through the youngest age, I this is not place to share my emotions, and I dealt with a lot of emotional things, and as any child go through any adolescence and teenager, I went through it all by myself, nurturing myself in a capacity that I knew. And I knew that when I will be a mom, I definitely want to be more present with my kids, more there. And when I got my first son, I remember that emotional storms that hit me. I remember one particular moment when I was rocking my baby. He was like few months old and he wouldn't stop crying. And I literally couldn't understand what's happening. You fed, you changed, everything good. And I remember I was rocking him and it was so irritating for me, his cry. And for a glimpse of a second, I understood those mom who throw out of the windows kids, and it got me really scared, this kind of thought, because I love my son. I don't want to hurt him. I want to be there. So I went studying and searching for the answers, because I know that my mom is not a person to go ask those kind of questions. So I went studying and was blessed to come across Gordon Neufeld and his work. And those knowledge, I took few courses, and it's I remember this feeling, how it feels like you were always in a glasses and someone like cleared them and like, oh, the world is not how I thought it was. And I couldn't contain myself. I need to share this. I need more moms to know about it. So I basically started a support group just because of this enthusiasm of sharing, the knowledge of sharing some things that helped me tremendously. And I led it more than 2 years in person. It grew from like literally 4 months sitting into a cafe into like family picnics for whole day that we held as a group. And life got cut and we moved to United States, and I was like, okay, I will just continue supporting my moms online and like start something here local, because I'm sure here moms as well struggle. But we moved at the end of 2019, and we all remember what happened in the early 2020. The COVID hit, and you basically moved to another country, and you cannot meet anyone. You need to sit home. You cannot to speak with someone. And at the same time, I was like, okay, I want to go to get a degree in psychology, because I already had like multiple courses in attachment-based theory. I had art therapy, but I wanted like solid foundation. And through a different series of things, I understood that, okay, this is not working. I applied to university, and it was like basically for the sake of title, because they didn't give any knowledge. So I like, no, it's not for me. I took my documents back, and I was like, okay. And at the time I got pregnant, and I like, okay, nothing is folding into places. I will be focusing just on being mom. And oh boy, I was wrong, because I loved my kids, but it led me to total burn down, because I was focused on providing for them. I was focused for what they need, and I totally forgot what I need, that I even have needs, that I even have those needs, these desires, and so on and so forth. And I remember sitting on a couch, and my son come to me, and he was eagerly telling me something like how small kids do, like with all light up eyes, like, mommy, mommy, mommy. And I remember sitting there and understanding that I'm not there physically. Yes, I'm on the couch with him, but my mind is already, okay, I need to cook dinner, I need to do that, I need to do that. And I just saw myself in his eyes the same way I was looking at my mom when I needed something, when I needed emotional support. And like, here I am. I was so trying to not to be that mom, and here I am. And I knew at the time that despite how many DIY resources out there, like all this AI technology and all this stuff, with mindset, it's very hard to work with those technology, because you're so attached to all the beliefs, all the things, that they become a second skin. You cannot notice them. And AI technology cannot force you to go into uncomfortable place. You can just close the tab and go with your day and forget that it had never ever was mentioned. So I started working with professionals. I started taking therapy. I started working with coaches, and I built myself back. And over the years working with moms, I understood that if moms itself would be healed, then all those parenting questions wouldn't be on the table, because we all have intuitive knowledge on how to raise our kids and provide the best for them, best care, best emotional support, every best. But because we have all those beliefs, because we have all those do that, do not do that, all this controversy, because when you go online and you ask for questions, you have like one saying do only this, and the second one, no, never do that, do only this. And like, okay, where is the truth? And truth is really for every single family is different. And that's why over the years I shifted from working on parenting questions to working on moms themselves. Because if mom fulfilled, if mom love her lives, if mom feel energized, then she have something to give to her kids. She doesn't give leftovers. She give the best of you. And I love to use this analogy with my clients. Imagine that you're looking for a babysitter, and you get on interview with some person, and you see that this person is exhausted, she's somewhere else, she's like not present, she's tired. Like, you wouldn't hire this person. But we expect from ourselves to be that person and provide best care, and feeling guilty that we cannot, because we need to shift and start taking care of ourselves. And even with my name of the movements, it was after the conversation, it was suggested by one of my mentors. And at first I like felt like this yuck to this name, because like, what do you mean me first, moms? Like, what do you mean putting myself first? Like, we as a mom, so and great, like we literally will go into burning building to save our kids. What do you mean put ourselves first? But then I start looking into it more deeply, and I felt in love with that name, because it's not about neglecting your kids. It's about making sure that you feel well, that your needs are met, because if your needs are not met, you cannot provide best care. It means that you first make the work and learn how to regulate yourself before you can teach your kids. It means you follow your dreams and show by example to your kids what it means that you can achieve those dreams. Because we all love to say to our kids like, oh, you can dream, you can be whatever you want, you can get all your dreams come true. But if your dream's sitting on a shelf and kids see this and like, okay, where's the truth? So over the years I transitioned into like kind of this mission of bringing moms back to themselves so they can lead by example, so they can be there for their kids. And a few weeks ago, I put into my why one last biggest piece. My mom passed away a few weeks ago. And a few weeks prior to that, I had a conversation with her. And after the call, I felt that she doesn't feel what she's supposed to do with her life any longer, because she's so dedicated her life to us, me and my sister, and we all grow up, we all have our family, we all have our kids, jobs, like we secured. And she's like, okay, what the heck I do with my life? And it happened like, it wasn't suicidal, nothing like that. Her heart just stopped like that. But it put the biggest piece to my why, because no one deserves at 65 found themselves that they have no purpose to live, because they so forget who they are beyond the motherhood, what they want to achieve in their life, what they want to do with their life, what the purpose of being on this planet. And so this is my mission and vision, that someday, hopefully in the nearest future as possible, motherhood will not mean self-sacrifice. Motherhood will be meaning that you are leading your kids by your example, living your fullest.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Two thoughts that came to mind while I was listening to you. Because I was chatting with my daughter recently. She has two daughters, and she's been the kind of person that gives and gives and gives to friend and family, and you know, she, for a long time, she didn't have any boundaries. And so, well, you need self-care. You need to look after yourself. And one kind of analogy that's overused is you can't, you know, like if it's empty, if your cup is empty, you can't pour out of that. So you need to replenish it, and you need to just look after yourself first, because otherwise, like you said, you're going to burn out. And the other thing too is being a good role model for your children. It's like if you keep saying, like you said, if you keep saying, you know, like, oh, you should do this and you should do that, then you don't do anything for yourself. You're not the one achieving your goals either. And your focus, you know, is entirely on just one thing. When if that one thing is gone, then what are you left with, right? So yeah, that's absolutely amazing that you're helping moms do that, because of it. And it's, again, it's kind of like what you're doing is coming from a need that you had yourself, and that's a lot of us end up doing that. Like one of the things I'm doing here with the podcast, and what I'm trying to build is a community, because I did not have that when I was raising my kids. It was just me. You know, I didn't have anyone to reach out. I mean, love my mother, she's gone as well, but she was not a person that I could go to ask for advice. So yeah, I'm just building what I would like to have. So
Yeah, and especially if you found your way out, why not to share it? Why not to show, hey, there is the hope, there is the way. I can help you if you lean into this trust and open that possibility. And it reminds me of one conversation that I had with the lady. She was like, I think she was around 50, 60. Like she was divorced, her kids were old and like living their own life. And we was having with her conversation and I shared what I do. And she said like, oh, I didn't know that this was an option to live for herself and being a mom. It's so engraved into our society that it sometimes feels so controversial.
yeah,
But
we're
it,
not allowed to be selfish and look after ourselves, or it is portrayed as being selfish, but I'm like, no, it really is not. We have to look ourselves. Like I said, you can't give what you don't have. If you're burnt out, there's nothing for you to give. So you're not that you're useless, but it's getting worse and worse, and eventually you can potentially get sick, which is something that I went through. So I ended up getting sick. So since then it's been like, okay, I'm not going to be selfish, but I still have to look after me out in all this. So yeah, absolutely, what you're
yeah.
doing is amazing. What you're offering is absolutely amazing, and again, coming from your own needs. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of the harsh reality that not everyone want to look into eye of this truth. But when
Mhm.
you grow up, there's really no other person except you responsible for your well-being. Yes, your family, friends, they can choose to care about you, but it's not their responsibility.
No.
And only you is responsible.
Exactly. I mean, we decide, if we have to take control, we have to own our power and just be, like, okay, I'm looking after me here, whether it's, changing your diet or changing your lifestyle or whatever, like having sometimes it's you don't really want to do this. It's a bit harsh, but sometimes you have to kind of distance yourself from some people that they're not the best people to be around because they're draining so much out of you. So, distance yourself. You don't have to cut ties entirely, but just, keep your distance. Love them from a distance is what I often say. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's necessary.
And in my work, we specifically focus on two main things: is environment and relationship, amongst all other things, because like your physical environment influence more than you think. It's
Oh,
influence on so subconscious levels that you don't even imagine. But also your relationship, like be mindful about with whom you share your dreams, your thoughts, because some will slam you in like the second you share and someone will uplift you, so be mindful about those interactions.
yeah.
And definitely try to bring as more people that you are looking up to at certain areas so you can be more like it. Even if it's mentors online, it can be as well. It's they may not even realize how they impact your life, but if you feel like there's something to learn from, why not? Especially with modern technology, when you have access to like people from all around the world.
Just like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Whoever, anybody in the world can watch this and yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, what I love about podcasts like this or messages like we're sharing is that it has a ripple effect. I mean, we may not see it. Like I may never know who's going to be impacted by our conversation today, but and you may never know either. But who knows, right? So it's all that ripple effect that can have and can maybe even save somebody's life. Who knows? That's the
Yeah.
beauty of this.
Yeah, and we never will like ever comprehend the level of impact we have, because like any mom that listen to, for example, this podcast and think, okay, I can give herself permission to take care of herself, we don't know how her kids will be when they grow up. Maybe there's future presidents, we don't know that, and we never will. And it's about like, I think, going into the trust that whoever seeks the message will found it and it will impact those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any words of wisdom that you would like to share from your own experience and, experience that you've had with people that you've helped, or what would you say to anybody watching this that you feel they would like to hear?
Yeah, I think the most important is to understand that this work is not about drastic changes, because sometimes it can feel so overwhelmed that feeling like the only possible solution is to like move across the world and like start from scratch, but it will not help because it's an internal luggage that holds you back. But starting with the small shifts is always a way, because first of all, small shifts are not scary for our brain, because our brain is trained to keep us safe, and the best safe place is unknown. And whenever we want to do something differently, to change something in our lives, it falls into category of unknown, because we don't know what will be there, and it scares our brain and it starts hitting the brakes. But if those changes are small and subtle, then brain doesn't have the capacity to like freak out and stop you on your tracks. It will help and support you. And the best that I can probably give for every mom that feels like she's overwhelmed, every woman, every man, like any people, start literally by doing 5 minutes here and there. We so underestimate those small time pockets. We usually, what we do, doom scroll, or like running next errand in your house, and then we feel defeated because like we couldn't manage. Start like literally with small things, and they can be as small as really enjoying that cup of tea, really, and looking outside into the window and observing the birds or cars passing by, like small moments of joy. And I did the math one time. If you do 3 times a day for 5 minutes, it will be like 3.5 hours in the week dedicated time for yourself. It's not less, it's like it's a lot.
Yeah.
But when we have in this society generation that you need a happy hour without kids to be recharged, like go to hairdresser, go to spa, yes, if you can do, go for it. If it brings you joy, go for it. But for a lot of moms, it takes so much effort to arrange care for kids and everything in order to get there, that and then you feel guilty that you're spending that hour there. It doesn't fill you up. So small things is the way to change your life drastically,
Yeah.
because what is one angle degree today is like huge difference in a few months.
Yeah, a perfect analogy for that is whether you're like if you're flying on an airplane or you're traveling in a boat, just 1 degree change every, let's say, half hour is going to get you somewhere, excuse me, somewhere totally different than if you just went straight, you kept on the
Yeah.
straight path. So yeah, it does make a huge difference, all these small little things. So absolutely, yeah, I totally agree with that. Little by little. And the other thing I was going to say that you shared is like, like going, like making a drastic change, like going all, halfway across the world. The thing, and again, just to reiterate what you said, is with that, wherever you're going too. So if you don't make these small changes, those inner changes, you're taking them with you anyway. So you're taking yourself wherever you go. So I mean, yes, your environment may change a little bit, but you're still going to end up in the same space because you're not doing, you may not be listening to your inner voice and your instinct and saying, okay, what do I need right now? So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
those are my 2 cents. Any messages that you would like to share? I know you just shared some wisdom, but is there anything else that you would like to share? I will have all your bio and everything in the show notes, but is there anything that like you'd like to promote, or anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, if you feel that you need support, if you feel like you resonate with what I'm talking, I would love you to see you in my community, in my online pages. I have website, I have Facebook group where I go live every Friday to give some help, some insights, some so-called challenges, what to focus on this week to help you make those small changes, not just to learn, because a lot of times is this knowing doing gap. We all know that we need to eat healthy, we all know that we need to exercise, but until you do, you don't know, because it's just a surface level information, and helping the support around you can help you. And also I have 30-day well-being journal that you can purchase on Amazon that helps you through those 30 days to reflect on what is your energy level, what actually is happening inside, what are the patterns, what are driving you inside, and help you to make those tiny changes, not guessing, not just pointing, oh, let's try that, but focus on what will be specific for you. And just surround yourself with those people, surround yourself with the people who are on the same mission, moving into living their life, enjoying their life, because it's much more beautiful place to be for yourself and to raise your kids in.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that you remind me of when what you said is, sometimes I know we don't always do well when we're by ourselves, and it's like, like you want to do this, whatever it is you want to do, and then if there's no accountability to anybody, then it's easy to say, oh, I'll just do it later, or I'll do it tomorrow. Well, sometimes later or tomorrow is always being put off. So if you're accountable to someone, then that helps you to do all these small little changes that you're really wishing to do. And little by little, it becomes, like your new habit. So it becomes easier. So, and then you can be accountable to, or other people can be accountable to you, and you're supporting each other, and building, like a really great community, a really great tribe. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why I said that modern technology will not help you with this kind of work, because a lot of people like, why would I go to the therapist? I can like talk with my chat GPT and say what I feel and he will support. Yes, but he cannot hold you accountable. He cannot force you to go deep into the question. If you like, he asks you a question, you feel not comfortable and you write something else, he will not re-ask you. You can swipe his notification left, right, and like delete it app, and that's it. You will not do this with the professional who you're working with.
Yeah, and the other thing,
Professional will help you stay accountable, step out of your comfort zone, gently look into those areas where you don't feel comfortable, and provide support based on your specific situation and not general advice.
yeah, and ChatGPT is not gonna, like send you a little voice message or a little text message checking in with you and seeing how you're doing, and yeah. So it's the human. I mean, I love ChatGPT and AIs and all that, but it still doesn't change human to human connection, because yes, like sometimes, if we listen to our instinct, sometimes something somehow this person's going to pop into your mind, and you're going to go, oh, I need to talk to that person. Just sending them a little voicemail or a little message or something, it can make such a huge difference to them, and you don't know why you felt the urge to talk to them, but you did, and you followed up on that urge, and then you say, later on they say, oh, you have no idea, I just needed to hear from you, or I just needed something. So yeah.
Yeah, and
AI
it
will do
happened so many times for me. Even like
that.
I was writing to someone like, I just really needed this, and it's also about like understanding that we are not doing life alone. A lot of times when we struggle, we can feel like no one can understand this happening only with me, something wrong with me, and all those stories. But it's not true. It just we so trained to keep what's happening to ourselves, not to share our struggles, like not to bother anyone and all those stories. But in reality, like, hey, this is, you're not doing this alone. There's so many people who can relate. And even if they didn't went through the same specific thing, they definitely have experience that they can relate, that they can understand, that they can share their thoughts, their ways. And it's only through the connection, it's only through allowing yourself to reach for that help. Even if you just like looking what others shares, even if you're just sitting, but understanding that you are not alone, it's make a huge difference. And it reminds me, when we moved to United States, I felt so heavy because we don't have any support here. Like my mom lived from us in Ukraine, like 10 minutes walk distance. And I knew that whenever I need to call her, she will come, so I could call her. I rarely used it because I had only one child. I had nothing much to do. Like it was easy for me with one child. But when we moved, even the understanding that there's no one to ask, no one to call, hits differently. So even if you rarely speak with your few friends, but you know that they're there, it's much easier.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, human connection, you can't beat that. It's just absolutely impossible. We need it as human beings. This is my belief that we are meant to be part of a community. We're meant to be part of a tribe. So yes, we thrive when we are with other people. So absolutely. Awesome. I thank you so much for your time, for coming on here and just sharing your wisdom with us. So that was beautiful. Like I said, I will have all your information in the show notes. Any last second thoughts or?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me here and allowing me to share my story and hopefully giving some hope to someone who listen and feel like, oh, I really can live my life for myself and being a good mom at the same time. And what I want to say last is that we all chosen to be happy and we need to claim it.
You are very right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending time with us inside the Heartful Healing Hub. If this story moved you, please consider sharing this episode or leaving a comment. Your words help others find this sacred space. If you or someone you love has a healing journey to share, we'd love to hear from you. And finally, if you would enjoy a gentle way to unwind after listening, visit the show notes to download your free tea ritual guide, Sip and Soften, a soul-soothing gift to nourish your inner healer. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust what has always been within you. And remember, you are whole, you are healing, you are home.